Hello, I'm Jay, and today I will be building a 3-plant airlift window farm. So here I've compiled all the necessary ingredients to build the window farm, and so just to go through each one of them. First, we chose 3 plants. We have spinach, some sort of hot pepper, and basil. And I think these 3 plants were about $10. Next is the Petco air pump that was $20. Then we have the hydroponic plant food that we got from the hydroponic store locally, and that was about $20. And also, actually the hardest thing to find was the Poland Spring water. We had to go to like 3 different stores, and we wanted to build a design as close as possible, so we decided we wanted to find the exact bottles. So the 3 bottles of water in the gallon, it's actually 3 quarts, not a gallon, was about $8. So then next we have the clay pebbles. They're like $5. And then over here in the middle we have the tubing. It wasn't exactly clear from the instructions how much of each type of tubing we needed, so we got about 8 feet of each, and we'll just keep the rest if we make subsequent window farms. And lastly, the rest of the items were pretty cheap. The Teflon tape, the string, the net cups, the air inserts for the pump, the needles rather, and the zip ties. We actually didn't have the 1-foot zip ties. We have 8-inch, so we're just going to string 2 of them together. And we had the duct tape, the X-Acto knife, and some screws already here. So those are all our ingredients, and we're going to try this out. Alright, so my first comment here is that these particular water bottles, the plastic's really thick where they want you to cut the hole out, so it's pretty much a huge pain in the ass to do this with the box cutter. So I ended up having to get my drill and drill a hole through the bottom of these to make a hole that I could get a pretty heavy-duty pair of scissors into to cut around the circle. So I tried the X-Acto knife on the first one, and it's like impossible because you can't really get a good hold on the bottle. And so I actually cut my finger on the first one. So not a big deal, but this is a pretty big pain in the ass right here. Alright, so at this point I've gotten through step 4. So I've got my bottles cut out and wrapped. You can see here this is where I cut out the place for the plants to grow. This plastic was actually pretty thick on this part of or thin rather, on this part of the bottle, so this is pretty easy to cut. But as far as the top goes, if you're going to do this with an X-Acto knife or a box cutter, you might want to get a pair of gloves just to protect yourself, because the plastic in the middle of this bottle is on the bottom is pretty thick. So other than that, it was pretty easy to wrap. And so just a time check, it's been about 45 minutes that I've been working on this, that I've got this far. So now I'm going to start putting everything together, and we'll see where it goes. Alright, so here's our fully constructed window farm. And at the top we put the hot green peppers. In the middle we have some climbing spinach, and at the bottom there's basil. And so a couple of problems we ran into is, if you see here at the bottom, the back of the 1-gallon jug and the side of the 1.5 liter plant holder, they don't both, when they're connected, sit flush against the dowel. So this creates a little bit of instability. So if we were to do this again, I think I've seen a video where someone used pitcher with a flat back on it that had a very large opening, and we'd probably replace the gallon jug at the bottom for a pitcher that might create a more stable system. And so the other issue is we use this reinforced hose, and it doesn't curve around too well, so we had to stuff actually a martini stir in there to get it angled right so it drips properly on the plants. And also, we don't think our cups went in far enough, so the cups were exposed a little bit, so we took these dish towels and wrapped them around to keep the roots from getting exposed to the sunlight. But other than that, I guess the take-home message is this does work as advertised. It only took a little bit of fiddling around. So, and we started with plants that were already started in soil, so we had to shake out the roots. But that wasn't too big of a deal. So we're gonna add the nutrients, and hopefully we'll get some growth soon.